Okay, so right here, just kind of taking a look at this particular piece. I'm going to overlap a little bit of it here. Bless you. Here. And again, starting off just with a little bit of a basic volume shape right there. And have it overlap it. And just kind of finding the gesture of this, extending it a little bit. Finding another piece. Okay. So again, once this is carried over, try to look at the contour line, and it's tricky because it's not an outline, but it overlaps. The kind of neck of this is kind of tucked underneath here, and this piece is elongated. So just in my initial sketch, I'm just exaggerating it and compensating for that piece right there. And generally it's pretty easy shape, depending on which one you choose, but this is the piece. Okay, and when you see this, it has the texture kind of built in to help with the showing of the dimension. So it's wrapping itself around here. And if I do these cross contour lines, it almost helps lay out the drawing. And then if any inside vertical line come in, it kind of just wraps itself right around the shape. So it almost looks like a wireframe drawing for the computer. So there's that initial piece. And then it's just a matter of finding the shading, try to find the base tone to it. And the section blends itself right in there. Come dark to light. And the lighting is pretty powerful for the highlight, so it'll come right there. And if I have it interact a little bit here with this other shape, just kind of blend it in. And you can kind of feel the gesture, kind of the weight of this. And depending on how it was grown from the stem on out, it's kind of building up that section to it. And just go ahead. So really, if you shade it right away, you can see how the textures come out later, but pretty quick there. Kind of builds. And usually with the pencil, if you have overlapping shapes, you can help it get its dimension and its spatial relationship. Go back. And it blends it in pretty quickly. So for the most parts, the shape is there. You can try something like the smearing of this with the blender, just to show you another way. Right across there. And it kind of loses the pencil stroke when you use this thing. Come around. But it also equalizes the value too, so it'll get you started. And then I can go back in. So just kind of shade, forget about the textures in there. Like I said, depending on which one you draw, you kind of look at it. Analyze now the surface, so I'm looking at the overall volume of this. Exaggerate the shading, so here's the base tone. Here's this kind of circle shape. Blend it in here. Here it's darker right underneath that. So the eraser will help me with the texture here, so we'll see that part. So it has the previous sketch, I kind of overlapped it. Blend it in like that. with the kneaded eraser, kind of picking out the highlight, kind of pinch it a little bit to get that line going right down the neck of it, and picking this part up, and then find that edge again. Once you have it, you can kind of see this one has the horizontal technique, so I'm just going to take an eraser and kind of draw with it. Wrapping itself around it. And this makes it much easier than trying to draw it and leave it behind it. So you can kind of see that texture coming out pretty quick. And just kind of punch it out there. And once you have that, you can go back in and highlight some of the values there. And right against the eraser, just kind of sketch it around there. So it really gives you that texture. Make it work. The nice thing that's helpful with the photograph, it already gives you the value scale set up pretty quickly. In this case, even though I'm shading around this, I can still go back and forth with this eraser to really build it up. Quit hating stuff.
I'm talking. Jesus.
But don't hate all that stuff. It's your education you're talking about.
An education that I don't need. I was forced into.
Yosef. There you have it, trying to get the texture with the drawing isolated.